So you want to start YouTube? Well, you're in the right place. This video is one of the many videos that I do in a video series to get started on YouTube. And at each video, I actually do the same video, but each time I try to improve something and explain what I've improved in order to get started. Because YouTube is mainly a skill game. This is about when you're getting started, you have a lot of skills that you don't have that make people successful on YouTube, and so you need to learn them. The idea is simple. It's just that at each video I'm adding something new. What we do each time, this is the same structure as you see here. Explaining to you what the video series is. Then if you already watched the previous video, feel free to go ahead and jump using the timestamp below to the section where I'm talking about what's new in this video. But if you're new, you're welcome, and we are going to just first establish what we have done until now, and then we are going to go through the main content, and finally we'll finish with the part which is just about what's coming next. So previously we started with the first video, which was about the title and thumbnail. The idea is that at the bare minimum you should have a somewhat good title and thumbnail, because if people don't click, they don't watch, and so it doesn't matter how good your video is. If the packaging or your idea, the packaging of your video, which is a title and thumbnail, not that good, you will not get clicks. And so because I've talked about that extensively across the last 3 videos, and I'm starting thinking that it can be redundant to actually go over everything, and probably the video will start getting very, very long. So from now, what I'm going to do is probably just go through them very quickly, and if you want more information, go watch the video series entirely. And so that was that about the title and thumbnail. Then the second video was mainly about having some structure. In the first video, it was very raw, just rambling things on top of my head without any structure at all. But then I started introducing a structure, a storytelling structure, because video is mainly about storytelling. And people that are actually pushing it a lot, or trying to script line by line and just speak those lines extremely well and do it over and over until they're happy with the result, and then putting everything together in the edit. But the whole process that I'm doing about this video series is how to make good videos without relying on heavy editing. And there is a lot of skills that, I'm going to be honest, I still don't have, mainly about how I'm expressing myself, how I'm expressing my thoughts that I have as I'm speaking, because my brain, maybe that's not your case, but my brain is generating a ton of ideas as I'm speaking, and so generally it's difficult for me to just articulate as my idea are popping up. But here, this idea of having a structure is something very important, but also very personal. For me, for instance, as I said, I get a lot of ideas as I go on. So having bullet points, it's good, because I don't need to rely that much on a script, a full script. The only thing I need to do is actually improve my acting skill, my performance in front of the camera. But if you struggle to improvise, to be spontaneous in front of the camera, maybe later, for now we're keeping things very simple and stupid, later you may want to just write script line by line and just telling them. What I found for me is when I do that, I lost almost all my spontaneity. The flow of the video doesn't feel very right. I struggle to remember a very long line, and so generally I'm much more in my head rather than just trying to talk and express myself here. So for me, yeah. But anyway, when you're getting started, just don't overthink it. Just do as I said, as I did. Just have a bullet point piece of paper and just having a little bit of structure. This is just the next step. First, good title and thumbnail, then adding a little bit of structure, and then we move on to the things that we did last time, which is exactly what you're seeing on screen, with adding visuals. And what I did is simply just creating a Google slide. And as I said, go watch the next video. I talked extensively about it, but the idea is just you add stuff that doesn't add much editing, but provide a lot more value. Because there is a very big rabbit hole that you can follow in, and that lead generally content creator to burnout, is just adding editing stuff that just provide not that much value but generate a lot more time of editing. And so what you want is every time you are adding something in your edit, it should add 10 times more value in terms of output. Because otherwise you will burn out. And more importantly is, as you grow, as you're performing as a content creator, those skills are the core skills you need, because later you will delegate the video editing part and those skills you will not need anymore. And so if you waste your time trying to build those skills that you don't need later, but you will need those skills of content creation, of a good creator performing in front of the camera, then once you delegate, your video will just jump higher in terms of producing, because the video editor can only do so much. This is just what you give him or her. So learning how to produce a good video from the get-go without editing is the core, the core of what you need to learn as a content creator. Anyway, I'll start from reading. So what I think I'm going to do starting next week, and the next video, is just show you this table. I'm not going to go over everything every time, because as I said, the video is probably going to be way too long. But what I figured is this table is something very important, and that something I want to refine over time, and probably with your feedback in the description of how you are experimenting things, how you, as you are adding those things, how much result you are getting. Because what I find is becoming a content creator is difficult, but mainly because of one thing. You don't know what the result of your effort should be. And so you're navigating, trying to put a lot of effort, don't get the result. You spend weeks or even months trying to make a good video, and then it just doesn't perform as well as you thought. And I think that's probably the most frustrating thing. And so what I would like to do is having this table, being really clear on, okay, if you add this to the video in this order, this is the type of result you may experience, you most likely will experience. And trying to find also the exact order in which you need to add them. Because I think sometimes we focus on the wrong thing at the wrong time, and that produces mixed result. And sometimes we do things that actually contradict themselves. And so this doesn't create synergy. It's just canceling each other, and so that's why we don't actually get the result we want. So that's why this video series, I'm trying to really think deeply about, okay, I'm doing that. What is the next item that will provide the most value and help the video get to the next level, get more view, more subscribers. And that's why there is really those two columns, because there is stuff that makes the video massively better to a wider audience, and this can generate more views. And then you have the little things, more subtle, that improve the depth and the core of the video, and those I think help keep viewer and get them to subscribe. That's why there is really these two things. And as you see here, for me, the addition of a visual slide deck in the frame, something to illustrate what you are talking about, I think is a big game changer compared to just having a raw videos. And so I believe that bring a lot more views. And also maybe some subscribers, not say a lot. And that brings us to what we did in this video, which actually we didn't, which is something very subtle. And so I don't think that's going to bring a lot more views, but make the experience of your subscriber much more interesting and make them want to come back for more. So, but before we do that, I just want to touch on this, because I said that the title and thumbnail is what allows people to click on your video so they get to watch. But at the core, why a video performs well or not, it's about the number of impressions that it gets. An impression is simply having your video shown to someone on the page or on the side or after another video and so on. And when you publish, you have a set number of impressions that the algorithm have determined based on what they know about you. If you're a successful challenge and they know that your video generally perform well, so they generally give more impression right from the get-go. And on the other side, if this is a challenge that doesn't have a lot of views or that doesn't really have published in a very long time, the number of impression you're going to get right from the get-go when you publish is going to be much lower, which can lead to something called shadow banning, where the algorithm think, I don't know what to do with this challenge, so I'm not going to get impression. I have no clue to who I should give impression, and I have no clue if the video are good or not. I don't know. And so we'll talk about that another time. So this just gives you a chance to get people to watch, to click on your video. Without that, you don't even have a chance. Then, once the people click on your video, the quality, as I said, of your video, the experience of your video, is going to lead to more watch time. And those more watch time lead to more impression, and this is a cycle that go over and over, and more impression you get. And so the better the combination of title and thumbnail and a good video are, the more the machine turn and generate. That's how you can go viral. But anyway, that's what I meant with the previous slide here, where some elements are going to help improving the watch time, really get people to follow through all the way through until the end, and that's going to give more impression. That's why those things allow to get more views. But on the other side, there is a lot of things that just get the experience much better, and generally speaking, that doesn't really convert into people watching more. This is just building a trust in you, and this, I believe, lead to more subscribers. Anyway, so what did we do in this video, which actually we don't did because I didn't have battery. So yeah, the goal was to use a microphone to actually make the audio sound a little better, to increase a little bit the experience of the viewer, but I fucked up. I completely forgot to recharge the microphone because this is not power-based. So let it be a lesson. Always make sure your material, your equipment is well charged. Always, to be sure that in the next video you will be ready. Anyway, so the idea was simple. It's just a microphone that doesn't add more editing. Actually, that doesn't add in any, because you're just plugging it in the camera in your phone, and this improve, of course, the sound quality. This also help reduce the noise, because as you see here, when I'm speaking, I have some reverb going on in my room, even though I tried to limit that. This is difficult to actually remove it entirely, and so this, having a microphone that is really close to your mouth, allow you to just speak a little on a lower tone, and so having your voice that is less expanding and reverbing into the wall. And also, this is something that, as you may tell, if I'm getting away from the camera, of course you will not hear me very well, and so this depends also of my distance to the camera. And so if I'm just here, or if I'm just here, the audio will not sound like the same, and may require in editing to actually handle the variation. Where if you are with your microphone, it doesn't matter if you are here or if you are here, the audio will sound the same. So that's really what having a microphone is about. And so I have this one, which is a big mic. But But as I said, I want to start with where you are. And so I'm making the video like you would if you were getting started, and adding one thing at a time each and every time. So that's why you have this one, and also that's look a little bit more professional. So, but anyway, don't overthink it. So let's go over the one. Mine is much more like that, but so you have this one. Personally, I don't like this one. I think it doesn't look good, but you can take it in your hand. Some people put it on their clothes, but I don't like that. But I mean, a lot of people use it, so I believe that's a good option. But I don't really like this one. This one is not the exact one that I have. I have another one that is like this, but I didn't find it. So, but somewhat that's the same. And honestly, that's pretty good because this is wireless. You have one side that you put on your pocket. You can even put under your clothes and just put it there, and it works perfectly fine. And you can move around, walk, and do anything you want. And you have the other side, which is here, which is actually you plug into the camera, and so it just sends the signal through the air, and so you can. That's a really cool feature to have. I use it actually for my golf videos and so on, so that's pretty useful. And then finally, you have just the basic microphone. And honestly, we almost never see someone use this type of microphone on YouTube, at the exception of one. This is a very successful YouTuber. This gives a different experience. If you can be here talking like this, and that's just a different vibe. So if you think that's a vibe, that it's much more like you, go ahead. Honestly, go ahead. Either case, those are the cheap option, and they are very good to get started, more than enough. And so I think that's it for this video. I wanted to talk in this video about the background music, but I did this table of expectation that and the part about the algorithm. I think that's something that was more important than the background music at first, but in the next video, this is what we are going to do. We'll talk about the background music, where to find it, how to choose and why, and also how to avoid copyright strike and so on, because this is something that can be very detrimental to your YouTube journey. And so thank you for watching, and go watch the next video.